I wanted to come on here and just kind of react to the vacation that I just got off of at Walt Disney World. It's all going to be good things. It's all things I really want to just tell you if you're heading out there. There's a lot of things I learned. Did a lot of firsts at Disney World on this trip. So I kind of want to just go over a lot of the stuff, a lot of the reactions, since I wasn't live. But this also gave me the opportunity, because I wasn't live, to really take everything in and be able to really sink in, do a lot of different things that I wanted to do, visit a lot of resorts, got on a ton of rides, but I'm going to get into all of this. So guys, if you want to listen, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's going to be like this, a little bit different, but I wanted to at least pass on some of the knowledge that I picked up on this trip. So first thing right off of the bat, which I think a lot of you guys want to hear about, is Tiana's Bayou adventure, which I was able to get on very luckily at Magic Kingdom. Overall, I think it's actually a very fun ride. That was kind of my reaction right off of the ride. Was it was enjoyable, very colorful, a lot of singing. It plays very well into the Magic Kingdom card, in my opinion. The track stayed the same, which is definitely a win. The drop is still there. I very much enjoy the final room. I don't think it's as empty as people are saying. I can see little spots here and there, but for the most part, I don't think it's necessarily crazy empty in there. That said, I'm going to say something after kind of now almost pondering on it for about 5 days. I kind of hope that the storyline at Disneyland is different. I know they're well in the way of, doing their thing over there at Disneyland. We may get the exact same attraction. I think it would be very beneficial for Disneyland if they did something different. Um, the reason that I say that is I am in the belief, when you have the same ride, try to make them different from coast to coast. When we just do copy and pastes, uh, I just, my personal belief is it's just not as good. Like, for example, on this trip, I spent probably a grand whopping 5 minutes in Galaxy's Edge, and it's because in the trips I've had before over there at Galaxy's Edge, I know it's the exact same thing. So why would I be wasting my time? I would love it if this is a situation where they take Tiana's and they put a different storyline to it. They do something different. They incorporate the area that it's in. I don't know. I still think we're probably going to get a copy paste, but I'm hoping we don't. But overall, big picture, Magic Kingdom's Bayou Adventure, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10. Let's see how it, plays over time. But I thought it was good. I thought it was good. I had a good time on it. I enjoyed it. So that's kind of my big reflection on that one. Moving forward, kind of taking a quick shift, we're going to talk hotels really quick, because I was able to do something that I wanted to do many years ago, and that's jump from resort to resort. As you guys know, there's a ton of different Disney World resorts out there. I was able to see 16 of them, which is pretty good. I'm going to kind of rapid fire through them pretty quickly here, and just kind of give you a little 15 seconds of each. So went to Polly. Polly was very impressive. I liked it a lot. Hawaiian themed, right by Magic Kingdom. Very beautiful. Enjoyed that one quite a bit. Floridian was next, which is kind of their version of the Grand Californian. Very fancy. Reminded me of the Titanic. Also by Magic Kingdom. Also very nice. Very expensive. The next one was the Contemporary. This is one of the ones that I was actually disappointed by. Not a lot of space, kind of felt crammed in there. Also by Magic Kingdom, kind of paying the same price as the Floridian and the Poly. Pretty expensive up there, but I just did not find myself enjoying that one as much as those last two, especially. Then we jump over to the Epcot resorts, the Boardwalk. Very cool. I can see what all the hype is around this area, starting with the boardwalk. A lot of shops, there's a lot of restaurants in this area. Good nightlife. Really puts you in the middle of the action. Boardwalk, really cool spot. Kind of have that carnival type American theming to it. Moving over to the beach club, exactly what it sounds like. They're acting like it's a beach club. Kind of the same thing. You're just on the other side of the water of the boardwalk. Really pretty, really nice. Probably would be one of my top choices the next time that I go back. That or what we're going into right now, the yacht club. Both of them look pretty similar. They're right next to each other, right by Epcot. Really cool pool areas on both of those, and overall, very much enjoyed checking both of those out. Skipping over just a little bit, we got Swan and Dolphin, which I'm counting as two different resorts at this point because of the different things that I heard about them. Both very fancy, not 100% Disney World resorts, but very much right there. Very cool. Good location, easy to walk to Epcot, puts you right in the middle, and a lot of really nice restaurants within those resorts as well. And location, once again, there is really, really nice. Jumping over to the Animal Kingdom resorts. So I checked out the villas. These were absolutely gorgeous. The villas and then the lodge. I'm going to put those together just really fast. Two different resorts. They're side by side. Probably I was most impressed probably by these two. Definitely on my bucket list to stay on these at some point. Animals in the middle of the two resorts. Just absolutely gorgeous. The design, the lobby, all of it, just fully immersive. Um, I am a big fan of these two resorts, and as I said, they quickly jumped up onto my bucket list as I was walking around them. Jumping over to these next two, which were actually a surprise to me. I didn't expect to like these as much, but Port Orleans Riverside, really really big property, but really really nice, especially if you're on the water. Very pretty. I was surprised by that one, and then right off of that was French Quarter, which is a smaller property, but they've got the beignets. Both of these actually surprised me more than I thought. I didn't think I was going to like them as much, but in the end, I thought they were really cool. So yay to that. Skipping to Art of Animation, this is the first one. This is, well, not the first one, but this is one of the ones that hit really to the top if you have kids. There's big character statues everywhere. Disney has a big presence on this one. It has presence everywhere, obviously, throughout all those resorts, but this one they're all basically in your face. And Art of Animation is really broken up by Disney theming, whether it be, Finding Nemo, Cars, Little Mermaid, and The Lion King. They've got their theming everywhere. Very good for kids. Pop Century is basically the exact same thing as Art of Animation, but it's just doing with pop culture, things like that over time. Probably kicking to a little bit older of an audience, but once again, pretty good. Good location. Can pick the Skyliner up to Hollywood Studios and Epcot. I thought those were really really nice. Riviera. I didn't spend a lot of time in here, but very fancy, very nice. DVC resort, but didn't spend a lot of time in here. This was one I kind of jumped out of, but very, very nice from what I've seen. And then the last one I checked out was also added to my bucket list if I have to stay here at some point, is the Wilderness Lodge, which if I lived in Florida, this would probably be my hideaway spot. Very beautiful resort, great lobby, has got that Montana, Wyoming type feel to it. Kind of that Yellowstone type feel. So that's kind of my quick, really rapid fire on the different hotels. One of the biggest things is really the fact that the variety that you have there at Disney World. They really created something for everyone, whether it be you're going to a resort in New Orleans, or around animals, or digging into animation with the with Art of Animation, or I didn't go there this time, but Coronado Springs jumps into the Mexican culture. There's really a resort for everyone and anyone of what you want to see. It kind of feels like Las Vegas. It's really really cool, and I highly suggest if you get out there. It's free to resort hop, and you can jump to the different resorts, check out the different restaurants, the different shops, the different feels of these places. And I highly encourage it just because it gives you an idea of what they can pull off, which is super super cool. Moving forward, kind of talking about resort jumping, the transportation out there is just fantastic. They have this bus system that gets you from point A to point B very, very quickly. You can jump from park to park, even though they are way, way more spread out than Disneyland. They've created a really good system that can get you from point A to point B, whether it be through the Skyliner, through the bus system, through the yachts, the different boats that they've got. They've really thought it out, and I used every single way of transportation I think on this trip multiple times, and it's just very efficient. I'm just very impressed on uh, everything that they've been able to pull off. The CMs, which are just everywhere, I don't even want to know. I'm sure it's out there on the internet. I'm just not looking it up. The amount of people that Disney World employs is unbelievable. I believe in the Disney bubble out there any given time, there's got to be 400,000 people between CMs and guests. I mean, it's a world of its own. That might be a low number. I might be wrong on that. I mean, there's a lot of people on in the Disney bubble at all times. But the transportation, A plus, really really good. One of the things more surprising I didn't expect, being though I went in the middle of July, crowds were not bad. I mean, we went Monday, Animal Kingdom, Tuesday, Magic Kingdom, Wednesday, Epcot, and then Thursday, Hollywood Studios. I got on every single attraction I wanted at least once. Um, I got on almost every attraction that I wanted to multiple times, multiple times. I got Guardians in there 3 times. I got Tron in there once. Tiana's I gotten once. Everest I gotten two times. I could have gotten 3 easily. Most of Animal Kingdom I doubled up. Magic Kingdom, Space Mountain, Big Thunder, Mine Train. I did everything. I did everything that I wanted to do, plus more. And still, I didn't push myself, which was really nice. You guys have seen me at Disneyland, and I'm going boom, 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 boom. This was very much more like, all right, boom, all right, chill. I sat on, People Mover I did that 4 times in a row. Just, the crowds were not as bad as I thought they would be, being in the middle of July. Now kind of transitioning really quick. How was the weather? Actually, I want to add one more thing. The only park that I did find crowded was Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios was pretty crowded. There was a point during the day, if I remember it pretty right, you had it was Rise, Smugglers, Slinky Dog, Toy Story Mania, Rock and Roller Coaster, and Tower of Terror. They all had 60-plus-minute waits, and 2 of those, if I remember right, Slinky Dog was closer to 90. Toy Story Midway Mania was jumping around 100 at that point, which was weird. And then Tower of Terror was also kind of lingering around 100. But even then, we used Genie Plus, which was great. But at the exact same time, never really waited anything too long. That was the only day that felt a little bit more crowded. Even foot traffic felt pretty crowded. But outside of that, every other day it was really nice. The weather, which a lot of people are concerned about, yes, it was hot. I am coming from Phoenix, so I had been sitting in like 115 degrees. So I'm probably one of the weirdos that went out there and said, "Wow, this is nice." We were pretty much sitting, midday, around 92. Yeah, high 80s, low 90s. Humidity was always kind of kicking around that 70%. I didn't find it too bad, just kind of like the first day of kind of acclimatizing to it. And then off of that, obviously, had fans and things like that, came prepared, drinking a lot of water. You know, I prepared myself for what we were in, but at the exact same time, it was doable. It wasn't like horrible. Um, I expected it should be worse, but it was not too bad. With that, I wanted to talk about this real quick. So 5 days, walked 145,000 steps, about 61 miles. I have no idea if that's normal or not, but that's kind of what I did. When I go back, one of the biggest things I knew this was not a trip that I planned. This was my family planned this one, so I was kind of rolling with all the things that they put together. If I go back, and when I go back, I know I would love to go for four. These last couple of trips have been 4 trips, so it's been really a park per day. But I would love to get it that I could be there a week, because I would break it up, like two days at a park and then like a pool day. And I highly suggest breaking it up to 2 and then a day off, and then 2 and then a day off, or something of that sort. Because for me, after the 3rd day, which was our Epcot day, I was pretty spent. It's important to break it up, and even pulling half days. And I get there's a lot of money being spent on these trips, but it's also important because I came back here and just collapsed. So, and I'm kind of at the verge. I can feel that I'm potentially getting sick, and it's probably because I pushed myself so hard. It's important to take a break. What was the cost of this trip? It's a pretty important one, but let me just break it down really quick. I got pretty lucky I took American 362. I took a red eye in though, so that flight was pretty cheap, but 362, which is pretty good from Phoenix to Orlando direct. Hotels, we stayed at a DoubleTree, so we were actually in the Disney Springs area, which is not Disney affiliated. It is Hilton, but we had our own bus transportation system. It worked pretty good. About 150 a night, so way cheaper than the Disney World resorts. But granted, you're not going to be getting a lot of the perks that come with the Disney World resort. Yeah, and then the price of my ticket was $420. So, in all, food included, all that stuff, I would say my cost of my trip was probably closer to around 1,800. Haven't really figured out the exact number, but it's probably right around 1,800. I didn't buy anything on this trip either. No souvenirs, no nothing like that. Mainly because a lot of the merchandise that is in Florida is also in California, and I have my annual pass discount. So I was like, I'll just wait. If I see something, there was a couple of things I actually saw. I'm like, all right, I need to go back to Disneyland and use my discount at that, so it's a little cheaper. Plus bringing everything back as well. So last couple of things. Epcot is really impressive. Still my favorite park. I was able to see their night show Luminous at the 3rd night, on the Wednesday night. That thing is very impressive. I've seen it on different streams. I've seen it on YouTube, but in person, that thing is grand. Very, very impressive night show. And I'm sure some people will disagree with me on it, but I was pretty blown away by how massive that show really is. Epcot, just going from place to place around the world, I could spend a month there. I mean, it's just great. Guardians is still a fantastic ride. Epcot is still king in my mind. I very much liked Animal Kingdom on this trip. Jumped up a few levels for me. Hollywood Studios kind of still standing in the Dweller, and I think a lot of that's just purely because a lot of what's there is also in California, which kind of harps back to my whole fact of I want Tiana's to be a little bit different. I think it's important that it's a little different because I don't like these copy and paste, because then I come to the other park and I'm like, let's try and change them up a little bit. My last statement really is the Disney bubble out there is crazy. When I get out to Disney World, and in this case, I was there from Sunday morning to Friday afternoon. It is one of the biggest disconnects from life. It's crazy. You really feel you're on vacation. How Florida is with trees and swamps and how everything is laid out. Um, you can't see to the outside world. Disney World just it feels like you're cut off from everything else and nothing else matters but what you're in that moment, which I think is extremely special. And you know, Disneyland has that issue of regardless of what they do, they are in the middle of Anaheim and they are stuck on their small blockage right there in Anaheim. And you can see to the outside world. You can hear the outside world. At Disney World, that doesn't happen. You know, you're very cut off from everything, and every park almost feels cut off from everything. Every resort almost feels cut off from everything. Um, it's just a very special place that's very impressive. Amazing minds have gotten into what has been built over there, and at this point, run by the different cast members that are doing a spectacular job across the board at Disney World. It is a massive property. It's amazing how clean they keep it, how friendly everyone is. Um, just an overall A plus across the board. If you're able to get to Disney World, I highly suggest it. Um, I am a big fan. It's very impressive. It's a very impressive place, and I can't wait to go back there once again. A lot of challenges in the back of my mind. There's a lot of things that I can do for content reasons as well. Another reason I want to go back. There's challenges for days that came in my mind, and I'll keep them close to heart, and hopefully I can do them one day. I got to get back to Florida. So overall, that's my reaction. If you guys have any other questions, fire away. I'm all ears. I feel like this was a trip that I probably should have made 2 years ago because it enhanced my knowledge of Disney World a lot. So I feel like I'm definitely not an expert at all, but at least I have a lot more information. I've ridden every attraction. I saw many different shows as well, things I never thought I would actually jump into. I did. Oh, and I forgot this part. We never really saw rain. We saw kind of a little bit of a downpour on Sunday night and then Monday, but outside of that, pretty light. A little bit on Tuesday actually too, but that was like 15 minutes in out. But yeah, not too much rain. It was kind of nice. But all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been informative to some level. Thank you so much.